Guys, welcome to episode 99. That's right, 99, episode 99 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, we've got the man himself, no floppy tire. Devin Vanderhoof is on tonight to talk about Sick Week, Lights Out 16, and I really want to talk about some radial tire stuff in comparison to slick tire stuff and why Florida is the place to go when they are doing that in the winter. So, Mr. Eric White, will you hit that intro video and let's do this?
Yep, let's do it. We're gonna pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
All right, guys. Well, again, welcome to episode 99 of the Drag Driver Pete Show presented by Summit Racing. My name is Mike Narks. I am the host of the Drag Driver Pete Show and news. This man, like your source. This is your source for news and entertainment from the Drag and Drive community, stats and stories from that place as well. I'm telling you, I've lived it today, man. It's been a crazy day getting to talk to all of our race car friends about this Arkansas State deal. They're wild. Mr. Eric White back in the studio. My co-host, my right-hand man. Introduce yourself. Tell them what's been up, man.
I am Eric White, co-host of both the news and the show. Right-hand man, like Mike mentioned, anything drag, drive, repeat related or the circuit related. I've got my hands in all of that, plus other events. So, help out with artwork for a few other events. And appreciate everybody. I've been reaching out for the circuit, getting pictures for artwork. So I know I've messaged a ton of people, and I appreciate everybody sending me photos so I can make those artworks. And of course, want to say a big thanks to Stone Cipher for being on last week while I was gone, and Fro for running the comments. I had some family things to take care of. So appreciate everybody that kind of helped fill in my absence and keep this show rolling. Again, thanks everybody that's tuned in so far. Tons of comments. Again, appreciate everybody, every one of our race car friends. Again, I made a bunch of new race car friends, messaging people, friend requesting people for the circuit just to get pictures of cars to make our artwork. So tons of new people. I appreciate everybody that has responded and everybody that's been watching tonight. And of course, our sponsors. We talk about it all the time, how this wouldn't even be possible without these guys. Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, WAF Racing, Performer Builds Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, PowerTube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And of course, we talk about it every week, our gentleman's agreement. Again, it's simple. If you're enjoying this live stream, hit that like button, follow, subscribe wherever you're watching. It's our own little gentleman's agreement. No contracts, no strings. Just you showing some love to us and us promising to keep delivering the content you came here for. So keep the vibe alive, like and subscribe, and let's keep rolling.
Yeah, and then PowerTube TV, love the guys over there. Brian and I talked a couple times. Man, they've got this Power Fest deal. It's going to be nuts. If you're wanting to find car, automotive, television, PowerTube TV is great. Pastime, Pinks, which are both coming back in 2025, and we've got a ton of content over there as well. And then of course there's they've got the app, but they've also got YouTube channel. I mean it's great. Content creators galore. All the fun stuff going on at PowerTube. And WAF Racing, we're going to kind of kick off this segment. We're going to bring on Devin Vanderhoof here momentarily. We're going to play the video first, but then bring Devin on. We're going to talk about Sick Week first in this first segment, and then we're going to stop for the power or performance built transmissions ad read, and then we're going to talk about everything else that this dude does. So kick it off, man.
Have you ever wished you could fit your toolbox in the palm of your hand, or really needed that extra set of hands while making a jet change at the track? At WAF Racing, we specialize in designing and manufacturing top-tier automotive tools that are made strong to withstand travel, yet lightweight not to slow you down. Tested in-house and at the track by the team at WAF Racing, every part is made by racers for racers. From compact toolkits, carburetor top hats, or spark plug storage containers, our tools are precision engineered and manufactured in the USA. Made of the strongest materials, every piece strikes the perfect balance of durability and dependability. Maybe you need something custom just for you. We do that too. You need WAF Racing in the passenger seat for your next drag racing event. Head over to wafracing.com today to take your racing experience to the next level. WAF Racing. Design, build, race.
Yeah, buddy. Love Chris and the team over there. See folks here making comments. All right, let's bring in Mr. Devin Vanderhoos, who's in the he's in the shop tonight. Is that right?
Yeah, this is where I live. Yeah, I don't ever really get to leave here. So yeah, no, I'm in the shop.
Yeah.
In here for about 3 hours.
Dude, you work your ass off, man. It's pretty awesome to see all this stuff, and I'm sure you post about 10% of what you actually do.
Yeah, we don't. I don't share everything just because I assume that most people would be like bored or annoyed with like seeing post after post of like dumb stuff. But yeah, we went through. Sick week was pretty tough. Like worse than it should have been. It should have been way easier, but it wasn't. And prior to sick week was tough too. Like everything was just dip. Honestly, the past 3 months of life have just been hard, and I blame it all on getting married in November.
Yeah, married in November, you literally come back from your wedding / honeymoon and go right into Southeast Street and eat.
Yeah, we did that, and that's where it all went bad. Is when Laura and I got married, so I blame her. The We did that. Then we went through. We thrashed, put the car together, went to PRI. I had to make sure the car drove into PRI. Like there's no way I was just going to push it everywhere. And got out of PRI. Tested one time before we were off to once or twice, I think. No, just once. Yeah. Before we went to the week early to sick week, tried to test in Orlando. Rain got us down there. Then we left, came back home, changed some stuff, and then went back down to sick week. Then we got hit with more rain, and then we broke a transmission like you just showed.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we break? We changed so much stuff; it was unreal before sick week. Like it was so dumb. I don't know, whatever, but it's fun, I guess. You know.
Yeah, that was one of our questions. Was what all did you update on the car before sick week?
So last year we pulled the car apart and we put a traditional style 4-link in it, and put double frame rail. Like we added double frame rails to the car, um, and moved the engine back. The engine used to be sitting further forward than factory, so we just moved it back to like an inch below behind factory location. Um, so which is most people are like, well, why didn't you move the engine back a long time ago? I don't know. So there we have it. We just did that recently, and it turned into a lot of differences with the way the car works. So, it got a really big makeover. We went to a spindle mount front wheel. We lost about 175 pounds out of the car. Real 4-link, new rear end housing, new converter, new transmission, we did a whole bunch of stuff. The engine and the turbos stayed the same. The car got like stripped and powder coated and then painted and all that stuff. But really between PRI and sick week, we changed a lot. Right? We didn't even race the car before PRI, and we still changed stuff. like idiots. I shouldn't say idiots. It's idiot. It's me. I'm the idiot. It's me.
I'm idiots. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm idiots. Yes.
Watching that car being built, man, I really was hoping you were fixing to do the cage white. Phew, that looked
Man,
so cool.
we thought about it, and I really like. I was on board to do it. The problem is that white shows everything, dude. Like,
Mhm.
and in the interior, it is really bad. I'm glad we didn't do it white, especially after that windshield caved in, because then it would have just been like destroyed, you know.
Yeah, it'd have been everywhere.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, yeah. That was a pretty cool time.
That was I wouldn't say cool. That
You,
that is one of the wildest situations I think I've ever seen.
yeah. If everybody's watching out here, don't put your glass windshield in with butyl. It'll move at 225 miles an hour and cave in.
Interesting. Yeah, that was the question is like what happened. So we've got a video, you guys explain. I mean, you probably talked to every media person that was at Sick Week about this, but
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
it ripped the center mount for the roof, for the convertible top. It did a
Oh
bunch of
yeah. It did a pretty good job at screwing up a lot of stuff. So the the windshield, like, so when on butyl, the like that butyl tape stuff, it stays real soft. I didn't know this, but the windshield slid up, and because it's tempered glass, it hit the metal corners, and then it shattered the glass and caved in. So it it just kind of was a bad installation. And I know now for the future that it has to be held in with acrylic. I mean, I had a guy come out and do the windshield for me before PRI. He had done them in the past and never had a problem. And this time he just used butyl. I guess, I don't know, not thinking, or because he was worried about getting acrylic, glue on stuff. He
Mhm.
just used butyl tape, and we learned the hard way. I mean, I'm not mad at him or anything. I'm just really glad that I'm really, really glad that Josh drives this car and not me, because he did an amazing job of. If you guys don't know Josh, Josh Davis, he's my best friend. He drives this thing, and we love doing these events together. But he doesn't get worked up about anything. Like,
he's a personality. Man, that guy, he is over the top.
he like that picture that you're showing right now, I think that was at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, I just got done talking to a police officer and taking a leak in the bushes, and the woman with the police officer was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm pissing, and I don't care, and I'm too tired to care, so just deal with it." And she's like, "Well, we're here because, like, there's cars here, and we don't want anybody breaking into them." I'm like, "I know that white one right there is mine," and she's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Can you just let me finish digging a leak?" And she's like, "Yep, see ya." And I turned around, and like Josh is bolting the hood on. Like he just gets in like a, like, when you get so tired because you don't sleep, he's the dude who's just like, "All right, we just have to keep going. Doesn't matter." You know what I mean? Like, where, I'm pretty much ready to just like, screw it, let's just quit. So
For him to keep that car together, because I think you said it best. It was like the third parachute hitting as the windshield come in. I mean, you got to think about that. Like that thing suddenly is full of air. Uh, yeah, he did a great
yeah,
job.
yeah. So what's funny is, like, so we have radios, like we can talk to each other in the car, right? So um we have a routine, right? I come across the radio every single time and say the same thing after every pass. And the way it works is, like, I make a pass, I see the chutes pop, I see him slowing down, because I don't want to come across the radio and be like, yelling in his ear like an idiot. You know what I mean? And then when I see that everything looks as if he's got it all under control, I come across the radio and I say, "Hey man, everything good?" And every time he's like, "Yep, we're good. I'm gonna grab the chutes. See you back in the pits." So, okay. Well, this time I said, "Hey man, everything good?" Because I had no idea nothing happened with the windshield. And he's like, "Yeah, it's a little windy. The windshield caved in." And I was like, "What?" Because, like, the radios, you're over a half mile
Mhm.
away, so like they kind of like get a little staticky. I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yo, just come down here." I was like, "All right." So I ride down there. I'm on the scooter and I'm like, and he's driving back towards me and I'm like, yo, what's wrong with the window? And I was like, oh, it broke. Okay. So I like pull up next to him and like he's hanging out the window like Ace Ventura because he's like trying to see, you know. And I'm like, hey man, are you all right? He's like, yeah. Uh, can you ride next to me and let me know that if I'm gonna hit anything? Cause like my neck hurts hanging it out the window and I'm really tired already. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. So like we ride back and he's just like cool as a cucumber, man. Like he don't nothing bothers him. Like that's like Josh makes these events like so much cooler for me because like I'm the polar opposite. I'm like a nervous, like frantic disaster in everything in life, but I mean like especially at drag and drive stuff, you know.
Well,
So
and I think somebody said it best a couple weeks ago. Cooper. He said you're literally listening to everything. He's like you're driving 800 plus miles, listening to every sound the car makes.
yeah. Well, the coolest part about doing a drag and drive when you're nervous about stuff is by day 2, when you're so tired, you just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like you just immediately you're just like, F it. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like if it breaks, it breaks. We just get to go home early, you know? So,
Right. Well, let's talk about day one. And did that affect your strategy?
oh man. So yeah, it got thrown out the window. I'll give you like a quick synopsis. Before sick week, we went out and tested locally. We went like 105, 274 or something to the middle, like to the 330. Like it was fat. Like it was a 410 or something, 184. I didn't turn the lockup on. We had the wrong gear in it, too loose of a converter, like all this stuff. I was like, yo, this thing's a hot rod, right? Um, go home, change the gear, change the stator in the converter. We figure we're gonna be able to test. We don't get the test. We show up like completely like in left field. We get a couple of test hits in, and we got the car to run like in the 420s in the eighth. And which is like a tenth and a half off of where we just were. Like I should have just put the car right back to the way it was, you know. Um, we find some stuff in data and say, okay, we should be good to go. Well, we go out on day 1, and I screwed up because we always race the car to the eighth mile because like there's no point in running to the quarter until you absolutely have to. So I screwed up and I had the chute set to automatically deploy at like 3/8 into the run. So what happened was the car went out on day 1, pass number 1, smooth as silk. It went like 4, I think like a 21 or something like that to the eighth, um, or a 24 to the eighth. And then the chutes hit at 3/8. And then by the time they actually blossom, it's like, you know, 4-1 or something into the run, 4-2 into the run. And driving through those dual chutes like that, you can't really do it. Just started shaking the tires real bad. So it wound up coasting to a 7.0. Um, so we were like, okay, we're going to get another one. That was like a solid, like bottom 630 tune up. Like it should have went 630, like bottom 630s. So we got, you know, we were like, oh, we're good. You know, like it worked. Everything worked the way it was supposed to. Chassis is doing what it's supposed to. You know, I just screwed up. Like I fat fingered. I just forgot about it. So everybody like that's watching, if you guys know me about Holly EFI, you guys like I screw up too. You know what I mean? Like don't, you know, don't feel bad, man. Like everybody screws up. Um, so we didn't get another run on day 1. So that like ruined our entire week. Like it was game over for us because there's no way that like just simple math tells you there's no way that we can catch number 1 um, with a 7.0 when he turned in like a 648 or something like that. There's just no way, you know. And I knew Brett and Jim weren't going to slow down. It's not like they were going to go 648 and then be like, oh, we're good to go now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know them well enough that they're just going to keep pushing. So that kind of just like it kind of really shot us in the foot. Like to be honest with you, we were so bummed about it, and like we left so late on day 1 that I was like contemplating turning around and just going home. Like I was just so, you know what I mean? Like it's just,
Yeah.
you know,
I think there would have. I think there would have been a lot of that if people weren't having as much fun as they were thought they were going to, because there was several people that had that same comment. Like, man, day 1 pass was shitty. Like you could see people leave and they spun at like 60 or 100 feet. they would let the car gather back up and then get back in it because there was not going to be another opportunity to make another pass.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I get it. Like the sick crew did a good job. Like it's the
Mhm.
weather. It is what it is. Like what are you gonna do, right? Um, and I was just really bummed about it. It was just really. I was honestly hoping that like there was going to be 50 or 60 cars left and somebody would just murder the racetrack and oil it down like so bad where they were like, all
Yeah.
right, day one doesn't even count. Like I was praying
Yeah.
for somebody to just leave like a transmission cooler line off. Like the
There was
one time
somebody. There was a lot of folks trying.
yeah, oh, I know. But I mean, like, they just weren't doing a good enough job. Like, after they oiled it down, they just should have just started swerving across both lanes, like just getting it everywhere. You know, uh, that's a terrible thing to say, but that was so day one really shot us in the foot. And honestly, at day one, I thought we would have been screwed to even just win our class. Like it was like, man, how do we make this up? So, but then it progressively got worse as the week went on for us. So that was a really cool thing that I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah. I want to talk about this too because I'm wondering, has K&N come on board yet as a sponsor?
No, they're clowns.
Come on,
They're
K&N.
clowns. Like if K&N's watching, they should literally be like, they should have at least sent me a damn T-shirt or something. Like just something.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell that story.
Okay, so that's day two. So we're at Bradenton. So the day one we left the racetrack at like 7:30 at night. We drove 9 hours to Bradenton, right? So like that was a really cool time. Um, and that was the first time we drove the car on pump gas since I had it all pulled apart and everything. So like
Oh,
we had a couple little struggles on the road. Like, dude, I forgot to tighten up like some fittings inside of the fuel cell. So like we're on the side of the highway, like with two hands in a fuel cell, drenched in fuel. Like it's whatever. It was just like all around crappy, but whatever. So day two, we get to Bradenton. We're in quarantine. Um the best part of day two was that we were able to pit underneath the bleachers so we were able to stay out of the sun. So that was exciting for me. Uh,
yeah.
the, so we wait around, we get in lanes, and I was just fried, man. I was already shot out from like the week before sick week and like how like long that was. Like we missed the whole part where like I drove to Florida and had a transmission rebuilt at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like yeah, that happened like 3 days prior. Like it was just a disaster. So I forgot them filters in there, right? Like those little filters, right? There's one for turbo, and there's like this little aluminum box that's made that like hold like it's a round turbo inlet, like 7-inch inlet, and then this little box that like clips on it and it holds them filters, right? And you can just grab a hold of those filters like through the front bumper and pull them on and put them on and pull them off. And I just forgot, right? Like so we have a changeover routine and that's part of it. And it's not on my little printed out list because like it was just such an obvious thing that you have to do. Yeah, well, it's on my printed out list now. So um, but I didn't even know they were still in. Like after the windshield caved in, we had a crowd around us. So somebody came over and said, "Hey, man, there's an air filter in your grill." I was like, "What?" And I looked down. I was like, "No way!" And sure enough, like one of them fell out, and I like reached in there, and I like the other one was still like stuck in the mount, and I was like, "No way! This is like, there's no way we just did this." And like I looked at the slip, I was like, this stupid car went 223 mile an hour with these air filters. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
wondering why it was slow. Like that should have been like a 29 or a 30, and that's why, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's what it was. The filter, to answer that question, what the filter was originally for, I think it's for a like a Honda, I think a Accord hybrid. I think that's what it was for.
That's
Interesting.
awesome.
Yeah, it was it was like a literally like they're like $25 panel filters from K&N. Like they're like I don't know. I bought four of them because I figured I'd lose some of them because they're so small. But there they are. They work pretty good. So if anybody from K&N's watching, I want a T-shirt, 3XL.
Yeah. Send this
Uh,
guy some stuff, man. Go 640 with Honda Accord air filters. I mean, dude, let's be honest. K&N filters, all that power, baby.
Right, exactly. Hell, we didn't even spray them down with the oil. Like we didn't even use the tune-up kit, the oil, and so. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what year Accord it was. It's like an older one, like a 07 or something, or whatever, 09. I literally went and ordered, like I went on to K&N's website and just found dimensions and like I ordered like 7 different filters that were close, and then I returned the other 6. So
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How'd you figure that out?
I just an hour on K&N's website and then just started ordering them.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so then we got the windshield put in. No Time Auto Glass, that dude ruled. So I'm not from Florida, but Brett LaSalle is from Florida. So I was like, hey, do you know anybody around here that does glass? And he was like, yeah, there's this guy. We made a Facebook post. I had like hundreds of people reaching out to me, like, hey, this guy, that guy, this guy. Well, anyway, I literally just started replying to people because I didn't know what to do. Like, I was like, well, we're done. I was like, man, I'll pay whoever shows up. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, Laura is at home, so she can't stop me from swiping a credit card. Like, she can't. You know what I mean? Like, like she ain't gonna cancel it on me. And like leave me stranded. So like, I was just like, we'll pay whoever. I don't care what it costs. So that dude showed up, and he confirmed the butyl thing. Like he was like, yeah, this is the problem. I said, okay, fair enough. So,
Wow.
so yeah, then we hit the road.
Man, that's crazy. So you'd had how much sleep? Did you have any sleep, I guess, going into Bradenton?
I think we had about 2 hours.
Ah, dang.
That
Man.
was a pretty good night, actually.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was actually a pretty good night. Now, let me tell you, but yeah, yes, Laura, I know. We have like company cards, and I don't know which one to use for what. I don't know. Whatever. Shut up, Laura. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, no. So we got about 2 hours or so of sleep before Bradenton, and then that night, the drive from Bradenton to Orlando, that one wasn't that bad. It was only like 200 or something miles, like 220. Drive went smooth. Like no hiccups, no real problems or anything. But it took forever, probably because like it just sucks driving these cars like with a trailer. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you can just get in your truck and cruise at 80. Um, and plus, like the whole part of like doing these events is to go and enjoy the drive. So like I say that the drive took forever and it sucked, but like the drive was like fun. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
now that it's
I
been a
think the
month.
route stops that day were awesome. Like I think you had the one little dive bar, and then man, I can't remember the other one, but it was a good one. I remember hanging out there for a while.
Yeah, I didn't see either of those in the daylight. We didn't see any. We didn't see a single. I can't think of a single checkpoint we saw in the daylight.
Mm.
I don't think we saw any of them in the daylight. I don't know. Yeah. Oh well. Uh, but yeah. So like that drive was pretty cool. It was late, but it was pretty smooth sailing. And then we got to Orlando. I think we probably slept for another 2-ish hours or so that night. And then no, yeah. That's about right. I think so. Yeah. So then we were up. We racked up to 4 hours of sleep. So that was a big one. 4 hours total. Then we got to Orlando, and I was really like optimistic about Orlando. So that didn't work out nearly as good as planned. And I'm telling you, like we were just cursed this whole event, right? So, um, I'm like a drill sergeant when it comes to racing. So like anybody who's watching who is at sick week probably experienced me being a psychopath when it comes to racing. Uh, and like honestly, the only reason that it's ever fun is because Josh is just like, yeah, shut up, we're gonna have fun, just calm down. You know what I mean? Like really, really, that's it. So so we so we get in line and we're right behind Brett LaSala again, and I'm like, God dang. There's something up with him going down in the racetrack in front of us. So like I'm pretty sure the windshield caved in because him and Jim were on the side of their track after they made a pass throwing rocks at the windshield. That's what I told him. Well, in Orlando, Brett threw out a banana peel in the form of transmission fluid everywhere.
Mm.
And so he went down the racetrack and he blew a transmission cooler line off of the car about 700 foot. And he went down right in front of us in the left lane. He doesn't have like radio, so it's not like he could call over to the radio to Jim and say like, "Hey, I just blew transmission fluid. Like, don't send anybody down here." Well, it was like a mist, right? So Josh, and like I don't blame, you know what I mean? Like I'm not mad about it or anything. You know, like don't let anybody take this the wrong way. Go down, make it about 700 foot and annihilate the tires, like just gone. You know, coast to I don't even know. You probably know what we went. I don't know.
I don't remember at that point, but it wasn't fast.
It was like a 649 or something like that. It wasn't like it
Yeah,
wasn't what
no,
it
I'm
was
thinking
supposed
of
to be. It was
somebody
like
else.
100. It was like 180 mile an hour or something, you know. So so it was like definitely like I was like, yo, is everything? So I come over to radio and I said, is everything all right? And he's like, no, it just annihilated the tires. Like something's wrong. I was like, okay. I said, well, you know, what was it? You know, oh yeah, right here. I found the slip. Look at that.
Yeah,
We went 422, 181 to the eighth, and then 648 at 195 to the quarter.
yeah. I
So
forgot that you guys went one and done each day.
yeah, we were one and done every day.
Yeah.
And not by choice. It was just because of like screw it, you know, what else could go wrong? So the yeah,
So-
I see you guys being super prepared.
Yeah, so for the folks that are listening on the podcast later, this is Taylor says, I always see you guys being super prepared. So my brain is like, oh, yeah, they'll never have problems.
Dude, we were like, this was the most unprepared that we've ever been, honestly, like 100%, like it really is. Normally, we would show up well, like a lot better tested. You know what I mean? Like the car would be a lot better tested. We'd have a tune up figured out for the every day, you know. We would have had street miles on it beforehand. But, you know, it was, we kind of got the experience a drag and drive like what a lot of guys do, you know what I mean, where they like just finished the car and showed up. And you know, in all reality, I think we did pretty good considering the problems. We did okay, you know.
Second overall, win your class, no big deal.
Well, the thing that's bummer about it is that like we have a car like this convertible that's sitting behind me is a car that can run with Brett, and he knows it, and I know it, and we all know it. And the problem is that like I didn't do what was needed to be done and go test prior enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just that's all there is to it. It's like not blaming anybody but ourselves. Like we just didn't have enough time or drive to go test enough. You know what I mean? And if you guys like follow my Facebook at all, when I say I don't have enough drive, you guys are probably thinking I'm insane because like we'll run off and go test like, oh, we got to go to Orlando, 9-hour ride. No problem. Let's leave now. You know?
Yeah.
But it's just, we just didn't take enough time to do it. But, you know, life gets in the way. You got a lot of other stuff going on. And,
Well, you're a married man now.
yeah, I know. And like that wench is dragging me down. You know what I mean? Like, so, we're busy in the shop and Josh's business is busy. And it's like, you know, you just kind of, so.
Well, and that's one thing that I like a lot about Drag and Drive is that truly is the equalizer. It truly is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so day one, look at Bailey. I mean, he spun hard or whatever happened there and crossed lane, so he couldn't even use his pass. So
I know.
if he had been in, if Stefan had been able to test ahead of time with his car more, like there's a lot of that is so much different than what all this pro mod stuff I do, with Midwest and Keith and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Oh yeah. You know, it was tough. Like like I said, man, day one was pretty disheartening, you know. But I mean it is what it is.
Oh man.
Does the car have a 599 in it the way it's set up? Yeah, Laura's mad because I call her a wench. So she came out to the shop to give me a dirty look. Should be all right. Does the car have a 599 in it the way it is set up? So Man, so like Derek Putnam asked me this multiple times, and so did Luke. Oh, everybody's asked me this, and I'll say no just because we haven't done it yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I won't say we can do anything until it's done. Like, I won't say I'm not the type that says like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go run this or we're gonna run that." No, we have to have already done it, and then I'll say maybe we could do it again.
Yeah.
Um,
Not
so
the, "Oh, man, with the power it's got, it should go that," and then you never
yeah, well,
get.
like if you just like look at it on paper, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, probably,
Right.
probably, but I
Yep.
don't know because it's not like. See, that's the thing is like there's not a lot of 3,100 pound Fox bodies that have gone 599 and drive them on the road, right? So like
Mhm.
it's not like you can like call up, Billy Bob over there and say, "Hey man, you know, how much power did it take for you to run 599?" Like no, like so it's
Yeah.
um but does it make the power to do it? Yeah. Does is the car safe for it? Yes. Is everything built to do it? Probably. You know what I mean? But you don't know until you do it. So
Mhm.
and honestly, if it went a 599, it would be such a Hail Mary, like not a Hail Mary, but like everything would have to go absolutely perfect. You know,
Yeah.
um, we've been the 60 foot that we need to go 599. We just haven't been the 330 or the eighth or the quarter mile that we need to go. So, like we're 1/5 of the way there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's what it takes, though. You know what I mean? Like, man, that is one of the
yeah,
hardest
yeah,
parts, and then who knows? Like, you could go 599 on a perfectly prepped test run, and then you show up and, oh, now suddenly it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and A group radial is going. Well, shit, throw
right,
that
right,
out the
right.
window.
Yeah, like honestly, like Brett's on the cusp of getting there, right? But like I
Mhm.
think that if he don't get back out in the next like 3 to 4 weeks, he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt, I know. Laura and I have been discussing your emails. Uh,
Nice.
that's for something else. But no, like that's the thing is like Brett's on the cusp of doing it. You know what I mean? Like he's really is on the cusp of doing it. I mean, he's closer than anybody else out there. But weather plays a big role in it, especially with his combination where he is so. It has to be so dialed for efficiency. Air plays a big factor in that, and I think if he winds up waiting a month and he's in Florida, it probably won't come together because it's going to be too hot, or the air just won't be as good. Um, not to say that it won't happen in the middle of the summer. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like he might find some power and go, hey, look at that. But
Mhm.
um, after talking to him at Sick Week, it seemed as if he was on the same thought process of like, man, we better do this quick. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's interesting. So, what if we had started and ended at Bradenton or, Gainesville or something like that? Do you think we could have seen maybe something like that come about on day 5?
um, potentially, yeah, I don't know, potentially. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know his program, very well. I mean, like him and Jim and all the whole like Joe Spetter, the guy who tunes the car for him, like they're all great dudes. And they put forth a boatload of effort. Like
Mhm.
that's the thing. Like if you guys see their success or like our success or anything, like understand that it's not just um oh they're lucky or oh they have these people helping them or oh they have they're willing to spend the money or whatever. It's an unbelievable amount of hard work. Like again, like I don't know Brett like very very well, but I do know that like every time I've talked to him, he's working. You know what I mean? Like he's
100%.
working. Like I've never got on the phone with him and him been like, oh no, I just don't I just care. I just paused my TV show and I can take 5 minutes to talk to you. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah. Rob,
Robert,
that's Rob Hollifield. I do not guarantee the top go to 599. He's the one who put the top on. So he's like the top master. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Hey, big shout out to that dude. That windshield comes in at 200 and something miles an hour and that top didn't go anywhere.
yeah, it's pretty wild. Like that top man. That's like the number one question we get asked is like, how does that top stay on? And honestly, it doesn't give us any problems. Like the side windows pull out. Like they everybody thinks they get pushed out. The interesting part of it is that there's a baro sensor inside the car. Um, The car goes into a very small amount of vacuum going down the racetrack.
Mm.
It doesn't get pressurized. Everybody thinks it gets pressurized, and I thought it got pressurized too. It actually gets into a vacuum. Very strange. So air does some weird stuff, you know.
Well, yeah,
Um,
especially at that kind of speed.
yeah, yeah. So, um, but yeah, then we got the day 4. Oh, day 3. The night of day 3 was rough, man. We slept like 45 minutes. Alan Whitaker got pretty sick on day 3. Um,
Hmm.
did you guys see the pictures of the like? We I have a
IV.
mobile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, that what that was all about was Alan got really sick and really dehydrated, and it was too late. Like if you've ever been really dehydrated, you've got to jump on it immediately with like liquid, right? If you don't jump on it immediately, you wait an hour or two. The only way you're coming back from it is IV. Like the
Yep.
only way you're coming back, you know. So he waited too long. He was stubborn, whatever. Alan, if you're watching, you'll never pull that crap again with me. Um, so he was kind of like apprehensive and like I wanted him to finish the week, you know what I mean? Like I just wanted him to finish, you know? And because I knew he wanted to. And we got the I found a mobile IV clinic woman to come out to the track. And
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And I was like, well, we're gonna do it too. So whatever. Like it's up to
Yep.
you. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, why not? Like it's not gonna hurt, you know? So and I told Tom before he left for the day, I said, this is a service you guys need to offer.
Hmm. That's exactly what I was just thinking. Is like that would be good for the tracks, to have, or a local IV place, to mobile IV place to come out and do that. Because man, I'm telling
And
you,
it,
you don't drink enough water, you don't eat enough, and at this point you've had 4.5 hours of sleep all week.
yeah, and then this is where it got worse, right? So like if it wasn't for that IV, we probably would have like just had to quit. The We left Orlando and Alan, okay, so Alan was done.
Hmm.
Okay. We got him an IV, but he was done. It was over for Alan. He was not in good shape. He wasn't feeling good. So the plan was okay, um, his buddy was going to drive the car to Gainesville, and Alan was going to ride in Rick's RV, Rick from Gear Vendors RV,
Hmm.
to just kind of like relax and just try to recover, right? So we stay at the same hotel. So like Josh and I were staying in one hotel room, and then Alan was staying in another hotel room. So like Laura books all of our hotels together. So Rick takes off with Alan, and now we've got Alan's Monte Carlo, and um, we are going to go try to make a couple 100-mile drive with this car that, like, if you've seen his Monte Carlo, it's gorgeous. And like, we're all,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, we love the car. Like, I worked on the car extensively, and like, it's not like it's something that you're afraid to touch. It's just that it's his
It's so
baby. So
nice.
like, yeah, it's beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
So we hit the road, and his friend Bert was driving, right? And Bert, like, so this is funny. Bert, like, in the parking lot, he's like, listen, I'm not a good navigator. So just
Mm.
like, you know, I'm like, all right. So if you leave Orlando, you have to make a right, you know? He literally just got lost immediately. Like he made a right and then like another right. He was immediately like, I don't even think we made it like an hour, or I mean 20 minutes. And like we had to call Bert. I'm like, where is he? And he's like, oh yeah, man, I don't know what happened. I'm lost. I'm like, God dang. So at that point, we met up with Bert, and then I said, all right, Josh, you drive Alan's car and I'll drive mine, and I'll just ride by myself. It's fine. Like you know what I mean? Like you go drive Alan's car, you know? So like he's driving Alan's car, I'm driving mine. We're cruising along, we hit the first checkpoint, everything's good to go. Like it's going well, you know? And then we go through that area A1A, like where
Hmm.
it's like, 20-mile-an-hour zone the whole way. And somehow Josh and Alan's car got like ahead of me by like a couple traffic lights, and then like was able to just kind of take off. So like I didn't even see him anymore, but it didn't matter. I knew where I was going. I get pulled over and I get stopped. I didn't really get pulled over. They pulled over a car in front of me, but Florida does Florida things, right? So the cop like throws a broadside across 2 lanes of traffic and then like jumps out, and I'm like sitting there like, what? Uh-oh. Like I'm getting shot. You know what I mean? Like something's going down. Like he's gonna shoot me. You know? He pulled over the truck in front of me, And then so I shut the car off and he comes over to my window and he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? You just blocked the whole road. Like, aren't you pulling me over?" He's like, "Get the hell out of here." And I'm like, "You're literally blocking the whole road, dude. Like, get out of the way." And he's like, he turns, he looks at his cop car and he's like, "Oh, I am. We'll just go around." I was like, "You've got to be kidding me." Like, so anyway, I was like, you know that anxiety you get, like you're getting pulled over, you're like, God, especially in a car like mine, you're like, God dang, here it goes,
Yeah.
So so like I'm cruising along and I'm like, all right, we're good. And then I come up over a hill and I see more police lights and I was like, oh great. And like I cruise right by and it's friggin' Josh and Bert and Alan's car and I'm like, oh god dang it, you got to be shitting me. So I like get up to this gas station and I pull over and I call Josh and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I said, I saw you got pulled over. He's like, dude, I'll call you back. I was like, all right. So he whatever with the cop. The cop didn't pull him over. The cop was there to try to help. He ran out of gas, or at least he thought he ran out of gas. It killed a fuel pump. That turned into 6 hours
Oh.
in a gas station parking lot.
Oh.
We got people to bring us a pump. It just didn't work out. I'm very appreciative of everything that everybody chipped in to try to help. It just did not work out. So it's now 4:30 in the morning. We are still 100 miles. We still didn't hit the checkpoint at the ice cream place, and we still had another 45-minute drive past the ice cream place to the hotel.
Oh.
So finally, we're in this parking lot. We made it out of the parking lot of the gas station and down the road to the parking lot of the BJ's Wholesale Club, which was a lot nicer parking lot. But we made it there, and it just turned into Bert was just leave me here with the car. I'll figure out a way to get it towed. We're done. Just you guys have to finish. I was like, all right. So we left, got to the hotel, slept for 45 minutes. And then it was funny when we were walking into the hotel, there was guys eating breakfast, right? In the hotel bar, right? And when we came out to because we literally showered, laid down for 20 minutes and then just got back up and left, Uh and when we came out, the same dudes were still sitting there eating breakfast. And they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, we're going. We're leaving." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yeah."
Yeah, there's no point in it. You can't sleep 2 hours, and now you've missed your run opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So we made it to Gainesville, and then I yelled at Brett, and I said, "He's not allowed to go in front of us." I said, "I'm sick of the banana peels and the stones getting thrown at the windshields." And so we finally made one clean hit at Gainesville. When it wasn't the fastest thing that we could have put together, but I was like, we're playing it safe, we're playing it conservative. Yeah, where do we go? 37 at 227. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was off by look at that. It's off by 15 numbers in the eighth.
Golly,
So,
that's crazy.
yeah. I mean, but it was good enough, and I said, "Let's go." So, and then that was actually the earliest night we had, and then it was a decent drive. We stopped at the place where everybody was that little town that was cool. That's the only one we saw during the day.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was sick week.
So tough, right? And
Yep.
then you win your class, win modified, which is awesome. Takes second overall, second quickest car of the whole event. And then I want to talk about radial stuff, but hang,
Sure.
I'll talk about radials when we get back. Let me do this ad read for Performer Built because man, they're awesome to us. They're huge fans of Drag and Drive. So I'll do that. Be right back. All right, Performer Built is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performer Built Transmissions, the goal is to engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. Performer Built doesn't just rebuild transmissions; they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That's why they say our transmissions are not just built; they're Performer Built. Big shout out to Ryan, who will be on maybe next week, maybe on for episode 100 or episode 101 to talk about this new big mill that they bought. That's badass, man. It's really badass, and it's going to help them take the 4L60 and 4L80 to whole different heights. You guys can see they actually build the transmission for the Price's family wagon there. This car's getting twin turbos. It's going to have a whole new outlook on life and make a bunch more power. And it hauls 4 or 5 adult men around at Six Summer, and I think that's the plan for them to have it back by then too. So it's going to be crazy. Anyways, all right, back to Mr. Devin Vanderhoof to talk about radial tires and why you like them in comparison to big floppy tire slicks.
Well, it's the Lord's tire. It's the tire of choice of straight men. I mean, I don't know what could be said about a big floppy tire that hasn't already been said about Baghdad. You know, I mean, it's just a terrible, bombed out, depleted tire. In all reality, the radial is faster. The radial is safer, and the radial is more consistent if you know how to use it. They don't grow. They don't. I don't know. They don't shake nearly as bad. I mean, they do shake. Don't get me wrong, but they don't shake nearly as bad. They don't. If you know what you're doing with a radial tire and you race a radial tire, you'll never want to go back to a slick. That's really what there is. Now, there's this stigma of like, you know, oh, the track has to be flypaper. That's not true, right? Like that isn't true. You can't be on some no prep, you know, like if you're like on just some like bare whatever, it's not going to work, you know. But if you're on like a reasonably prepped track, you can make it work. 2 years ago when we did Six Summer, everybody said, "Oh, you're going to get killed up there on a radial and blah blah blah." A bunch of people talked a bunch of junk, so I entered us into the unlimited class, and we won that, and then we took second overall. I think the only reason we didn't take first overall is because that Tri-City, that racetrack was that racetrack was sketchy for everybody that year.
Yep.
And I was not willing to make another pass there. You know what I mean? Like we were not willing to try to make another hit there, like slow it down and try to make another hit. So we just threw in the towel on it. But either way, the radial is the Lord's tire, and you know, it's what we run.
Well, and so, you know, one thing we hear a bunch, or I see and hear a bunch, is that the tracks in Florida are better, you know, they're better for radials. They're more radial prepped, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's still guys going fast on big tires. Is that true in your experience?
So, here's the thing: the big tire guys could have been just as fast as they've ever been on a radial prepped racetrack. Like that's the truth, right? But most big tire guys have never tried to make their big tire work on that racetrack. They stick to the status quo of like, oh, we need 5 pounds of air in the tire, and you know what I mean? Like we need wheel speed, and we need all this, that, and the other. In 2024, like Josh's car, he's got a Trans Am, right? We race that car on radials all the time. And there was a slick tire only, like it was mandated you have to show up on a 28-inch slick. I know it's not a big tire, but it's the same deal, 28-inch slick. We showed up on 28-inch slicks. We haven't been on 28-inch slicks in 10 plus years, right? So like we're walking around, everyone's like, oh, you need wheel speed, you need wheel speed. So like the first 3 passes that we make in this car, we're trying to get wheel speed and we just suck, right? And I'm like, yo, we're treating this thing like a radial. So we put like 14 pounds of air in it, right? Like when everybody said don't go over 8, I was like, yeah, you're wrong. 14 pounds of air. And we dead hooked it and wound up like we were in the second chance race, right? Like so we were like, because like there was a 32 car field that gets split up into 16 for like the first round losers, because we were trying to get wheel speed in first round, right? And like so we lost. We wound up going pretty damn fast on that tire once we decided like we're going to treat it like a radial. So I think that if Anthony, you're right, Gumby Gold is a bad machine on any tire. Yes, it is. Like we've been really fast with that thing. We won a lot of cool stuff with it, and it's an awesome car to race. But it's not a drag and drive car. So if some of those big tire guys would just like kind of take a step back and think about the structure of the tire, the racetrack that they're on, and just try some stuff, I think they do a lot better. So I had a talk with John Enns and David Schroeder like in Orlando before Sick Week started, and they were having a problem shaking the tires really, really hard with that car, right? So they said, "Well, what would you do?" And I was like, "Well, I'd put 315s on it, but if you don't
Man,
want to
that
do
would
that."
look so good.
Oh, I know, right? Like that's what I said. Like,
Oh,
dude, it looks so badass. Like, get rid of that big stupid tire, put a real man's tire on it, and it goes way faster. Well, I kind of gave him like a rundown of like how I would try to treat it, like just what I would try to do. And I talked to John on day 2, and he's like, "Yo, I did what you said." I said, "How'd it go?" He's like, "Well, we went like 101 60 foot. We haven't gone like 997 yet." He's like, "But we got a lot less power in it, and like it's responding well." I said, "John, it looks like you're here on day 2, which is not exactly common for y'all, and it looks like you're in the hunt, like you're running pretty good." You know what I mean? He's like, "It's inconsistent, but we're trying." And I said, "Okay." So, like if you gave those guys a little bit of time to go test with that tire on a decent racetrack and treat it kind of like a radial, I think that there would be there would be a lot of guys that showed up on big tires that wouldn't care what the track prep was like. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that
So
makes sense. And so, uh, again, we go back to why drag and drive is so interesting because those guys that are at World Series right now, those guys are making 2 or 3 passes a day all week, and they're going to know how the car is going to react at Bradenton when it comes to qualifying tomorrow or racing on
oh yeah,
Friday and Saturday. But drag and drive doesn't get that. So like a lot of times guys show up, we make more passes during the week of the drag and drive than we do the whole year for a lot of other guys,
oh for
me
sure, yeah, yeah.
especially, but like those guys go out and you're getting one test hit if you get 2 passes a day. If
Right,
you get two
right.
passes a day. So
Right. Yeah. No, I mean,
it's
like it's all comes down to testing. Like I think that the radial tire, well, it's already been shown, right? Like it's already growing in the drag and drive world, right? So like
oh yeah.
a couple years ago, it was probably a 70-30 split on slicks versus radials, right?
hmm
Now it's 70-30 radials to slicks. Like it's
Were
taking a
you
turn.
did you go to the lanes at all in Gainesville when they did the AB? I can't remember. I think it was flip flopped. I think AB Slick was first, and then
Yep,
AB
it was.
Radio was second. There were like 8 cars up there for
Yeah.
AB Slick. It
So
was
we were in the first
wild.
like spot. We were in like the first spot at Gainesville for quarantine. So like the lanes were like right in front of us. And
hmm
I was just hanging out in the lanes, like we were waiting for our call, and I was just hanging out, and I was like, "Man, there's barely any AB slick cars, you know." And
Yeah.
a couple of them started to funnel in a little bit later, or whatever, But like, it just wasn't. More and more people are realizing that the certainly it's sick week, right? So like, why go against the grain? You know,
hmm
like the writings on the wall that they're going to prep the racetracks for radials pretty well. And honestly, I feel as if Tom, especially being a big tire guy himself, would be happy to have a 50-50 split of big tires and radials or slicks and
hmm
radials. Like I'm sure he'd be happy about that. But that's not what's showing up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's just not what's coming. So it's like, you know, I'm not telling everybody that they should just be on. Honestly, I really don't want those big tire guys to be on radials. Like I don't. Like I don't. But like, dude, if they figure that out, like if they figure out like a radial, we're screwed,
Yeah.
right? Like we are. I mean, they have chassis cars and like, like Tom Bailey's got a pro mod. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Tom figures out how to make a radial run at his event and he keeps the thing together and alive, it's going to be a 560 car. Like,
Yeah.
you know what
So
I mean? Like,
it doesn't Mickey Thompson make like a 3312 or 3313 radial or something now or 31? But man,
well,
they're
there's
making
the
some huge.
315. The 315 radial is 31 inches tall, but it's only
Mhm.
like 12 and a half inches wide.
Yeah, then
Uh,
there's a bigger one than that then or
there
something.
is
Yeah.
Doc McIntyre was running it. I don't remember I don't remember like the numbers on it, but like I do remember. I think you're right. I think it was like a 33 or something like that.
Mhm.
You
Man,
know,
that's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
that could be the way. Now I know suspension's completely different setup and
sure.
changes and all that kind of stuff, but like, man, that could be pretty awesome to see some of the that top level car, Stefan Gustafson, Bailey's, Schroeder's, all those guys come out on some radios and really lay down some. Because question from earlier I had in my head here. Once somebody breaks that 5, do you think it's going to fall hard? Like we're going to have several people do it, or is it like we're literally looking at like 3 people in the world that can run those kind of numbers?
Well, so there's plenty of cars out there that I think are capable of it, right? Like with some tweaks, there's plenty of cars out there that are capable of it. The difference is that there's not a lot of people that are capable of making it happen,
Mhm.
right? So, and that's not a stab at anybody. Like that's
Yeah.
not me like talking junk to anybody. But like I was saying earlier, that it's real easy to be a fan of this stuff and say, man, like, no, it's going to go 5s. And it's real easy to be a guy building a car and saying, man, we're building this car to run 5s, right? It's not real easy to go through those stepping stones. So, like, if you take your typical, like, let's just say, I'm sure you have the numbers on this, but I don't. But like, let's say there's a pretty big chunk of racers that run 750, right?
Mhm.
There's probably a solid chunk of racers that run 750. Um, in order for those guys to take that car that runs 750 and turn it into a 690, it's a lot of work and it's a good bit of money, right?
Mhm.
In order to take that car that runs 690 and turn it into a 650 car is double the amount of work and double the amount of money and triple the amount of testing, which is really where the money comes from, is the testing, right? To take that 650 car and turn it into a 620 car is typically a rebuild, a whole new car,
Well, I
right?
mean, look at what Brett did with 2. He bought a completely different or built a completely different car to go from. I mean, he was already running 630s last year,
Yep, yep.
right? And then now he's. I mean, you're talking about 3/10 and is a
Yeah.
whole new car.
Well, he built a whole new car because we whipped his ass at streetcar bragging rights last year. Yeah, it was. I think it
That's
was the
awesome.
only. I think we were the only ones to ever beat him in that car. Brett, if you're watching, sorry, I didn't mean to make you build a whole new car. We sorry about
Nope.
it, but
We're glad you did, bud. We're glad you
we
did.
are very glad that you did. Uh, uh, racing isn't nearly as fun if you don't have somebody to poke back and forth with. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
just isn't. And it don't matter. Like so when people are watching, don't think I'm on here talking bad about him because like I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Like I am. I am a fan of his. I'm not. In fact, I was wearing his shirt yesterday. So like I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, there's a handful of cars that'll go that'll have the potential to go 5s. It's just I don't know if, and they could be in the right hands. I don't know, but I mean, it takes a lot to do that. You know what I mean? And this is me outside looking in. We haven't done it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, right, and think about it. There's one car that's run 5s. There's, I mean, literally, people have to understand this. Y'all get a ton of attention at that level, right? Because it is so wild to see that fast of a car drive on the street. But there's literally 5 cars
Yeah.
in the 3,000 plus racers within Drag and Drive that are doing that are running those kind of times. I mean, 5, 6, 7, maybe
Yeah.
7. Like,
Yeah. There's not many. Like,
yeah.
and again, well, Derek's in here. I see him commenting. Derek asked me a while ago because he wrote an article about like cars gunning for the 5s, and I said, don't include me in that because we're not. Because like I said earlier, like I won't say we're going to do anything until we've already done it. You know what I mean?
Well, and the other side of that, like, we had Cooper on a couple weeks ago. He comes down, all he has to run on day 5 to lock in his class win is a 10-12. So he
Yeah.
goes out and runs like a 980 pass or whatever, you're on 940, whatever, way off. Right. That's the other side of it. There's no need to run record runs. Like when you guys came into day 5, what did you need to run to lock it in? And were you willing to just throw the kitchen sink at it to make your best pass ever? Or,
Well,
hey, we've had 7 hours of sleep all week. I just
so
wanna get this pass done and get out of here.
what we decided to do on day 5, we said, okay, we're going to make a pass that's enough for us to secure the win, right? And we actually wound up having a problem on day 5. Go figure, big shocker here. Um, we actually had a sensor problem. We had a map sensor die on us at half track, and that's just kind of part of it. You know what I mean? Stuff breaks.
Mhm.
And we wound up coasting to like a six. I don't know. It wasn't very fast. It was a 50 something. You know what I mean? Which don't think that I'm like just downplaying that, because that is fast, but it's just not fast for the car. You know what I mean? Um, but we wound up like coasting like a 650, and then we yeah, so we coast to a 650, and I said, okay, we fixed this map sensor. Let's go back up for the all run and swing like real hard. You know what I mean? And we did, and in the burnout there was a vibration, and um, car was acting kind of weird, and like I saw it, like I could see it from outside. And I came over to radio. I said, "Josh, everything feel right?" And he's like, "No, something's wrong." I said, "All right, just back up and let's just go back to the pits. Like we're done.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason. Like there's no need. You know." It
Yep.
wound up being uh, a bearing in the converter was locking up. So like the car was kind of like the converter was like coupling and then uncoupling. So like when it's in reverse or in drive, it would try to stall occasionally. Like the engine was trying to
Mm.
stall and then rev up and like take off because like the converter's trying to lock down. Um, so it was a good thing that we pulled the plug on it, because we could have damaged something, worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, but again, then also that's partially my fault, right? Like, because when we changed transmissions before sick week, I had the converter open, and I didn't do a very good job of cleaning that thing. So when we pulled it apart, it was the bearing race had some stuff, some like real bad scuffs on it. So like I screwed that up too. You know what I mean? Um, so and again, it's just from like a lack of sleep and like hurry,
Yep.
hurry, hurry. So that's when mistakes are made. But to answer your question, like we wanted to swing, but we chose not to. So
Yeah.
because of
Well, again,
uh,
7 hours of sleep all week. That creates a
yeah,
problem.
yeah, it was a really bad time. Like it was
Well, well, then you came home from sick week and then you tore the whole car apart again. So what's it apart for? Is it refresh? Is it changes?
no, I had to clean it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can only imagine what it was like.
Well, so what happened was we had a rear main seal. We've struggled with a rear main seal in this thing, and partially because of me, partially because of we have it fixed now. We had puke tanks on the car that were a little bit too small, and we were having some pressure issues, like some pan vac pressure issues, and we've now fixed it. We've now since fixed it. Well, on after day one, we were riding down the like day two. I was like, man, wait, because we put the car up on air jacks, changed tires and stuff. I lay up underneath the car, and I'm like, yo, the whole bottom of this car is covered in oil. Like, what is going on? And the rear main seal is just pissing. And I was like, great,
Mm.
like freaking great. And you run 220-degree oil temp and cruising down the highway, like the oil gets, it's easy to come out. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so we made a huge mess. The engine had to come out to get a rear main seal anyway. So I pulled the engine out of it, pulled the transmission out of it. I brought the transmission because I had it rebuilt, like kind of like in a mad dash rush. Um, I brought the transmission down to my transmission guy, Cameron, at Cameron Store Converter Services in Columbia, South Carolina, and I wanted them to just go through it and make it like brand new. Give me your seal of approval. And then I brought the engine to Par Racing Engines, and they put a rear main in it, and we slammed it back together in time uh, to do streetcar bragging rights last weekend.
And
Yep.
just destroy folks over there. It was awesome, man.
Man, so people probably don't realize, but from sick week to that picture there, here's what got changed. Okay, this is what changed on the car. The transmission is a completely different transmission now with completely different ratios. Right, I had a whole new transmission built by Rossler. And then Cameron went through my other transmission. Okay. So there's a different transmission in that car, different stator in the converter. It's on a 28-inch tire, not a 29 and a half. Right. Um, it's 3 inches lower. The ride height is 3 inches lower because that's where it's supposed to ride at on a 28. Right. bar angles have changed, spring rates changed, and rear shocks changed. And then we showed up completely untested to streetcar bragging rights, like idiots. Got rained out the first day we were supposed to test, and then just went right into qualifying. And literally, I guessed at a tune-up. Never turned the I didn't turn the lockup on at all during sick week or during streetcar bragging rights. So like
Wow.
this thing's gonna be fast. You know what I mean? First pass out went 111 60 foot. You know, cruised to like a 420 something, and I said, okay, well we're in business. And then wound up going like a 411 or 12 or something like that on the next pass, and then we turned it down to just make sure we can get through eliminations, because like that's where like we've screwed up before, you know what I mean? Like where you want to try to chase a number, and
Mhm.
that's what hurts you, So
Well, and for that at that point, if you've got your opponent covered, what's the point? What like I mean, I make it to the next round.
so my car number is 50-50, right? Uh and that's there for a reason, right? This because so it doesn't matter like what in drag racing, heads up drag racing is a 50-50 chance of winning or losing. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
You could have the other guy covered, it doesn't matter. Last year when we went to this race, or not last year, maybe it was the fall race of the year before. Um, we lost in the semifinals to a car that went, I think, like 830s.
Mm.
Yeah. You know why we lost? Because we cooled the transmission down too much and it wouldn't bump in.
Oh,
So the
no.
weather was too cold. We left a fan on it by accident because we started BSing with people at the track. You know what I mean? It sat there for a couple hours. Transmission got ice cold. Wouldn't bump in. Would not bump in. Guess what? Lost.
Yep.
50-50 chance every single time. You know what I mean?
Nate 50-50.
That's right. And I wish more and more people would grasp that, because I think more and more people would show up to races. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Uh, anything can happen. We caught a little bit of flack about like, oh, one guy was trying, like he was upset, that we were there. But the interesting part of it was like he was bitching because he said, well, you guys have, you're faster than me by almost a second. And it's like, yeah, but the last round, the guy that you just beat last round, you were faster than him by more than a second. So like, who who gets to be the harbinger of truth here? You know what I mean? Like, who
Mhm.
gets to decide where the line should be drawn? Well, that's the promoter's job, and the promoter does a really damn good job. And that promoter is Nate Prater. He's in here. Um, Streetcar bragging rights that they're so they do like a big race like every year, but
Mhm.
Nate brings his class to Lights Out and to No Mercy, which is awesome because like that's a huge arena. That's the big stage, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you know, the Drag and Drive big stage is like Sick Week because like they have those coverage and yada yada, right? But like No Mercy and Lights Out is like the big radial tires stage. Like that's it, right? And for Nate to be able to bring a spotlight to street cars at that event is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I've been going to that event for years, tuning other people's cars or whatever. And then when I saw that he was bringing that class to it, I was like, "What? We get to bring a car this time?
Yeah.
Hell yeah!" You know. Um, but his big event is coming up in May, and I think May, yeah. Um, and it is amazing. Like if you're gonna go, if you're gonna like, if you guys want to go to that race, like you should pencil in the time to go to it because like you will have an absolute blast.
Well,
He does a
somebody was
better job than
messaging.
everybody.
Yeah, somebody was messaging me. Scott Thompson was
Mhm.
messaging me the other day. He's like, it's, I'm drag and drive, right? He goes, it's like drag and drive adjacent. He's like, it's street cars, man. It's one of the most fun events that's out there. He's like, it's definitely on the same level as the top events you've ever been to.
I'm I'm promising you, like I've raced a lot. Like I go to a lot of races. It's my job, you know,
Mhm.
and I promise you, in all of my years, I've never dealt with anybody who puts together an event like Nate does. Like last year, you probably saw the pictures, like when we ran Brett in the finals. There was like fire, like flames coming out of the starting line. There was a freaking flyover from airplanes right after the national anthem. Like there was like this
That's
huge
awesome.
VIP tent, like where he like feeds everybody, like if you have like VIP passes and stuff. Um, and then in the finals, like you go through the finish line, all the lights in the entire facility dump, and then fireworks go off. Like,
Nice.
dude, it was absolutely insane. Like he does such an insane job. Like stuff that when we went to that race, it was stuff that I never thought of. Like I never thought of like doing this to like make like racing cooler than it already is. But Nate looks at racing as if it should be like something than more than what everybody else does. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like
Mhm. Oh yeah.
it should be a show. It should be a, like he, and the other cool thing about it is that like Nate cares more about racers than any other promoter I've ever dealt with. Like every single one of them. Like I've dealt with tons of promoters and he gives a crap. He cares.
I was just
More
looking at
from
the
his-
maps. I was looking at the maps, see how far it is from Charlotte. I can usually get pretty cheap flights from Charlotte into XNA or Northwest Arkansas here, so I may need to look at that.
Dude, it ain't that bad of a ride to Rockingham from Charlotte. It really isn't.
Right.
It's dude, it is worth going to. Like you will have an absolute blast. Uh it'll, yeah, and you'll make a ton of connections there in like the streetcar world too. Like that there are people that don't do drag and drive that are trying to get there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you hear that? 5 years from now, we're going to have trackside cabanas with hot tubs. Like, dude, like this is what I mean. Like Nate just balls out of control. You know what I mean? Like he's just Nate is the riffraff of racing promoters. You know what I mean? Like he is like the riffraff of racing promoters. Like, uh, he's awesome. Does an awesome job.
Rich Guido in here says everybody's driving them, right? Driving their cars.
Yeah. Yeah, Rich. Yeah.
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 Bring it on. All right. Well, dude, let's wind down. We're a little over, but man, you're such a great guest. I enjoy you coming on anytime. But we haven't even gotten nerdy at all. Like we haven't talked about any nerdy shit or anything. So we're going to do that at a different time. I want to talk about I'm talking about Southeast Street and Eat 2025 because
Okay.
that's got to be on y'all's radar. What's the plan? What I know you've had the craziest last 3 months, and so kind of give us a rundown.
Laura. So that's Laura's baby. That's Laura's baby. She's in charge of that one. So she. So we had. So okay. We had dates, and then some of the tracks weren't going to work with those dates. And then, no, you don't, Laura. I don't need to do
Come
with
on.
you.
Hey, come on.
No.
You can-
So we had some dates, and then then that kind of fell apart because some of the tracks weren't going to work, right? Then we tried to move the dates, and then it turned into even more of a mess. And then one of the best times we had last year was at Mooresville, and then Mooresville changed management. And so now Laura's trying to work with new management, which it's not that they're a problem or anything. It's just that it's new. So, you have to work with them. And we have a new track though. We have a new track in the mix that we may add in if we have to, or if we can, or whatever. And they're really local to us and we love the place. But we're not gonna say nothing about that until it's confirmed or whatever. But yeah, she's hoping to have all of this nailed down before the weekend is over. I, on the other hand, will do nothing. Nothing. I don't do anything with it. I am the
You're
pretty
just the
face,
pretty face. Is that
obviously.
what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. The pretty face, obviously. No, she's got a lot of great ideas though. Like she did a killer job on the last one. You know what I mean? I was just there to, make sure it all just went the way she wanted it to go. Everybody said that they had a blast. You know what I mean? Like everybody, real positive response from everybody, and that's the whole reason we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I can tell you.
I think I did 23, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was a
Yeah.
blast. The taco night,
Yeah.
the 2 tracks in one day, dude, next level
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Like we really tried to put together something where like all the competitors were like man, like they put forth 110% effort into all this. You know what I mean? Like every single bit of it was like we wanted to make sure that every single person there knew that we tried as hard as we could. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, like the slap bracelets were cool. You know, Tyler, she's doing pretty good. Mushu just had surgery. She's doing pretty good. So, but no. So the plan is we're 75-25. I'm going to be doing 2 tracks in one day again. 75% yes, 25% no. It really depends on, we're waiting to hear from one of the racetracks, like an answer from them. We may actually make the day 0 be a mandatory thing where it's just testing and tech and whatnot, because it does turn into a little bit of a mess trying to do some tech on day 1. You know what I mean? There's a reason why all the big drag and drives do it. We had a lot of people come. I think we had like 195, I think, that wound up showing up, and I don't remember how many finished. Um, but we had like 260 sign up, which was an accident. But the 100 and like, I think that, in my opinion, like I want to limit it to like 175 cars. Like
Mhm.
I want to limit it to 100, but but realistically, like 150, 175 is like the perfect number where everybody can, like, I want those 100, like, yeah, there'd be people that'll be mad that they didn't get to come, but I want the 175 people that do get to come, or the, 200, let's call it 200, right?
Yeah.
I want those 200 people to understand that, like, dude, this was an absolute blast. Like, we got to
Mhm.
run as much as we wanted to. Like, there was no real major holdups. Like, we run the lanes really efficiently. Like, we try to, at least.
Mhm.
Um, nobody ever really complains that, like, they didn't be able to get enough passes in, or whatever. We want to back it up a couple weeks. That's the biggest thing. We want to get out of November and get into October, just because of weather.
Mhm.
So 3 years in a row, 3 years in a row we got rain and whatnot, and it's like maybe that week is just bad news. So
Yeah.
so
Man, yeah, moving back into October would be great, and October's still pretty thin, for the season. Now, the benefit you guys have is obviously it's a national level event, it's a points event for the Drag and Drive World Championship, and at this point, it's the final event of the year, which really we had to have in 2023. So, you had like, Ryan Hargett and Brian Goldstone come out, and they're duking it out, trying to get all the points they can. So,
yeah.
I think that as the World Championship point still becomes more prominent, events like yours late in the season, guys are looking for that. They're like, I gotta have one. I gotta have an event that I can get to. You start looking
For
at
sure.
200 cars, they're gonna need those passes. They're gonna need
Yeah.
that opportunity in the afternoon. And like, man, I mean, you guys have great tracks. You have the people understand, and the cars that come out are awesome. Lots
Yeah,
of really
yeah.
really cool cars.
And that's something else that, like, I'll just put out there, that, like, when we do registration and if it gets sold out and whatnot, and you find yourself 6 weeks before our event and you're in the running for winning the overall, like, championship for the year, or like placing somewhere that you wanted to
Mhm.
place, if you reach out to us, I'm really good at just saying, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
dude,
I know you're
because
not registered.
you've
I,
done
you
it
know,
long enough now, people are gonna not show up. Like, and they're not gonna tell you they're not coming. They're just not gonna show up. So,
which is so, like, it's such a bummer to me, because, like, if, like there's been a couple of times where, like, I've signed up for an event and, like, we couldn't come, so I always inform them.
mhm,
I don't want my money back. I just want to inform you all, like, hey, I'm not going to make it, so, like, give somebody else an opportunity. And that's the bummer about it, is like, why not call us and let us know, or message us, email something,
mhm.
just let us know, hey, we're not going to be able to make it, because if we have a smaller group, I want to be able to let the next guy in, or
Yeah.
next 2 people in, whatever it is. So, um, it's really tough to just say, screw it, well, come one, come all, because, like, then if we have 500 people show up, it's like, no, I'm going home. Like,
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
quit.
It's too
You know what I
many.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we're going to 200 this year with the circuit, and it's the biggest event I've ever hosted, and I'm anxious, man. I mean, to be honest, like that's a 50 more cars than what we had last year, and that's a bunch. It's a bunch when you start kind of factoring in, like, uh, what are we gonna do with all these people?
yeah, dude, it's herding cats. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, it's herding cats. That's what it is.
yeah,
Ari competitors, but I'm one of them. I'm one of those really wiry cats that had way too much catnip. Like when I'm the competitor, you know what I mean? It's like I get it.
Yep.
Uh, I got to tell you, this is a funny story from Sick Week. So apparently, if anybody at Sick Week in AB Radial sees my car move at all for any reason, they assume that I somehow, some way got like info that nobody else got that the lanes were about to be called for us, right? So complete insanity, whatever. So it's day one, and like we didn't get until a late start, right? Well, we didn't drive the car prior to day one. So I said to Josh, I go, yo, I said, we got to be coming up pretty soon. I said, but like, we got to get heat in the rear end, like in the gear, like in the rear gear and everything. Like, just go drive this thing in circles, like just go drive around, you know what I mean? Like, all right. So like I said, just make a couple laps. I said, and just keep your phone like on the phone mount. Like if they call us and you don't hear them, I'll text you and just pull up to the lanes. All right. So he like pulls out and like drives away from the staging lanes, right? And I'm up near the staging lanes talking to a couple of people, and he comes around the back row and he's like, "Yo, look behind me." There's like 60 cars behind him.
That's awesome.
I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like, and now those people are like blocking us from even being able to get back into our pit, and I'm like, oh my god! Like,
That's awesome.
I was like, well, just shut it off and park here, and he's like, dude, there's no way they're not going to want to kill us over this, and I was like, oh, they probably will, but it's all right. So like, I went up there and told them, and they were like, oh my god, like you're starting this already on day one. I said, sorry, I mean? But
Man.
Uh, but I would tell Josh, I'd be like, yo, get in the car. They're going to call us any minute. And he'd be like, dude, I'm not even getting near that damn car because people are watching us. And I'm like, I'm telling you, they're going to call us. And it was just so bad. It was like, so, I don't know. It was really funny though. It was really, because like, it was like literally like a parade of people like following him around. I was like, God dang guys, like, come on,
That's
I know
awesome.
you're anxious, but chill out. Uh, it was funny though. So those are
That's
the types
cool.
of things that like when I look back, I always laugh about, like, and have fun with, like, meeting people in the gas station bullshitting
Mhm.
and um
Man,
that's the fun
I
kind of
had a
stuff.
Mustang just like this. Guarantee
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
oh yeah, we heard that a bunch. Yeah. Well, I can tell you what our schedule is for this year. We are going to run streetcar bragging rights in May. We're going to run Six Summer. We're probably gonna, if Nate has his event at No Mercy this fall in Georgia, we're gonna run that. We're gonna run the Sick at the Rock thing. I saw that they just changed some stuff around with that this afternoon.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if we'll do that or not. I don't know. I'll just have to kind of read about it and see if it's something that is good for us or not. And then, yeah, Laura, that's what I'm talking about. Well, she's the one that books all the stuff, so like she probably knows better than me. Um, and then I think that was really all we really had planned. There's a handful of like there's a couple of shootouts that are like local that we're gonna go to and run them. But that's it, you know.
That's awesome. That's all.
So
I mean, like, I was going to ask if you made it into Drag Week. It's going to
didn't even try.
MIR and okay.
Didn't even try.
Break my heart. It's okay. It's fine.
Well, man, it's drag week. Where is it? It's up in VMP and everything, and like in Philly,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like, why?
Dude, I'm telling you could go back. It's like back home. It's
Yeah, it
like
is back home. Like, I don't think they could pay me enough. You know what I mean? Like, why? I don't want to go to Philadelphia. Like, I
yeah,
hate Philadelphia.
yeah.
Uh, you know,
It's
no,
awesome.
we're not going to do the King of the South. That was a slick tire race. We're not going to do that one. We are going to do that with Josh's car, but Josh's car is a little bit is pulled apart at the moment. So, um,
Yellow Belly's
yeah,
an
no,
interesting spot.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, man. It's as a spectator, you're literally from like this is the track, like touching the track. It's behind this
Yeah,
chicken wire fence.
I've seen a bunch of videos from it. It's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, they're it does look really cool. That's the place that like has There's like something overhead, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's got like covered spectator parking. I mean,
So
there's
this is where
11
my
Mexican
brain
parties
goes.
going on.
This is where my brain goes every time I see a video from there. Do you remember like at the boardwalk, like with the bumper cars with like the electric
Mhm.
things over top?
Yeah.
Every time I see a video from there, I think about bumper cars with the little electric thing overhead because it
Yeah,
looks like
that's
one of those
exactly
little
what it
things, and I'm
feels
like,
like too.
yeah, I'm like, oh, look at that! It's a little bumper car thing, you know. Like that's where my brain goes every time I see a video from there. So it always
Yeah.
did look. It looks really cool there. I've never been. So
Yeah.
um,
It's
where's
a
that?
neat
I don't
track.
even know where it's at.
South of Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Rich, I do have a question. Will you be there the weekend of April for Little Gangsters that weekend? That's my question to Rich before we jump out of here, because we'll be down there. Midwest Drag Race Series kicks off their event that weekend as well. So it'll be Jimmy Dale doing his race and then Midwest Drag Race Series. Same weekend, same area. We're at XRP there at Yellow Belly. So that'll be
Oh,
pretty
cool.
wild.
That's
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
I
I was
gotta go to
hoping we could.
XRP. I gotta go to XRP this year for a grudge race. So
Nice. Nice.
um,
Well, it's a great track. XRP is an awesome track. They
I like the racetrack. I just hate. I'm so sick of the grudge racing.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're all drag and drive now. That's the way it goes. I see streetcar
And
Devin.
well, it's that car. My car has always been a street car. But a lot of my customers and stuff I deal with are in the grudge world, and the grudge racing is I don't know, man. The vibe that you get at a streetcar event or a drag and drive event. Honestly, what it is, I think what the biggest thing is that the clocks are on.
Mm,
And like there's just something about when the clocks are on where like it seems like everybody has a lot more fun.
yeah. Well,
Like
there's no bullshitting then.
right. Like you can't lie your way through it or anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So oh hey, you know what else I wanted to say? I wanted to shout out Summit for helping us out at Sick Week. They were
So awesome.
instrumental. They were good to go.
Yeah.
I don't
Those,
want to sit here. We got plenty of sponsors, but they were somebody that helped us at the track that sponsored y'all and sponsored the event. Like
yeah.
it's as a business owner, it's tough to be supportive of Summit because like they're the gorilla. You know what I mean? Like and like they just outsell you. But as a racer, like you can't you not let them go unappreciated. You know what I mean? Like they were great. So
Yeah, and those guys that were down there working, they're drag and drive racers. Like, Tommy races Drag Week.
yep.
Alec autocrosses a Grand Marquis or Crown Vic. I mean, he's an idiot. And a Miata. So imagine big Alec in a Miata racing.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. But yeah, those guys are great. All right, dude, we're gonna put you backstage. Tell everybody where they can follow you and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll close the show out.
My name on Facebook and Instagram. Then our website for our business is hcrinnovations.com. And then if you look me up on YouTube, my name on there is the Holly EFI guy. Um,
Yep.
we
Good.
wire, plumb, and tune race cars, and we go racing. That's about it.
Dude, yeah, and you are a busy man doing that. So hang tight, Stevens. I want to talk to you about a couple things, and then we're gonna finish this up.
Okay, cool.
Man, I appreciate him coming on and spending the time. It's wild. Like, do we need to extend the show to 3 hours? This is twice now we've gone over.
I'm gonna need a more comfy chair if we're gonna do that.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah, my back's hurting already. But man, this has been great. Appreciate everybody. We've had great numbers tonight, great comments. I think Devin is kind of like what Ed Enzer was. Like, he's so smart that people they're scared to ask questions. So next time we have him on, he's been on. I think this is his third or fourth time to be on, and I'm excited. So as we get more info on Southeast Street Meet 2025, we'll have Laura on. We'll leave Devin inside the house to make comments in the chat. We'll go from there. So I want to say thanks to him. I want to say thanks to Carolyn for coming on from Youth Services of Tulsa. That was awesome. John Paul Frank's coming on talking about Heads Up Hustle and the Melling Performance sponsorship there for their title sponsor. Man, it's been a great show. We've been super busy. So
Yeah.
we've been talking the whole time. So send us out and we'll get rolling, man.
Well, you want to talk about next week real quick first?
You mean episode 100?
100.
Like, I said this early in the episode. I don't know if people heard this, but dude, 420 live streams, but this will be episode 100 of the show. I mean, there's no telling. I mean, we probably have 300 hours of live stream of talking about drag racing just in the Drag Drive Repeat show without the news that happens. So, I mean, I'm so excited about this. I messaged Adam and Matt both today and asked, this is a monumental episode, right? 100 is a big deal. A lot of live streams don't make it this far, right?
Right.
The ones that do typically, that we just, if you make it to 100, you're going to make it to 200, right? These guys are the reason I started all this, right? Jonathan Stonecipher is pivotal in me following this stuff. Matt Frost is the reason that I competed in a drag and drive in 2020 when Drag Week canceled and he kicked off 2.0. Without that, I mean, we wouldn't be right here, or we would, and we'd be on episode 10. You know what I mean? Like it would have been just drastically different. So Adam Dory, he is who I base if I like an announcer on or not. Adam's the best announcers in the game of any automotive stuff. So those two guys are going to be on. I'm going to try and talk June into coming on as well to talk about some of the stuff. I want to talk about the history of Rocky Mountain, kind of where it came from. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary. We're moving into a new era of drag and drive and what that means for them and what, we can look at moving forward and all that kind of stuff. So, and obviously we're going to talk about Mega Week. I mean, the biggest, baddest drag and drive to ever have happened. The biggest party I think we'll ever see, 600 cars. Like we're going to get nitty gritty. We're probably going to be 2 hours with them. I don't know if we're going to have another guest, maybe not. If we do, it'll be a short one. Yeah, I would love to give them as much time as we can talk about stuff. So I'm already making notes for it. Obviously, I think it's just going to be awesome to have them on and go through that history with them, and the future. Like we're going to talk about all kinds of shit. So it's going to be awesome. Episode 100 will be March 5th. So 3-5. I can't believe it, dude. 100 live streams talking about Dragon Drive, man. It's awesome.
I'm super excited. It's going to be awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody. Tonight, we've had, like you mentioned, great numbers, tons of people in here, tons of comments. Again, you guys are the reason we do this. So thank you so much for watching every week. Again, going on 100 episodes. If you guys aren't watching this, we wouldn't make it to 100. So again, thank you guys. And like we always say, none of this would be possible if we didn't have our sponsors: Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmission, Card Chains 3D, PowerTube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week for episode 100.
Yep. See you guys. All right.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.